got a couple of big deals coming up the next couple of months, but specifically for this Ring of Fame, which is a very exclusive club. What's that mean to you, Mark?
Well, I just saw Coach Narduzzi over at the catalog there. He was in for a couple of minutes. And I hope every one of these players that are here and everybody that's really worked with us closely sees a little bit of their name up on that award. Because I think these are program awards. I think these are things that you don't get there without a lot of people. And everybody's got to be pulling in the right direction and doing their job and be excellent at their job. So when we came here, we wanted to build a legacy, and I think that's what we did as a program.
When we talked a few weeks ago, you said, I thought I'd be maybe a MAC head coach, but this job and this opportunity changed the course of your career and your life, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did. And when I came here for the first time, as one of Nick's Saban's assistants, it sort of put this place on the map, and I probably was able to come back probably because of some of the relationships that I developed at that time.
It feels like 30 years ago, I think, that you came back
30?
here. I think so, 94, 95, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right. About 30 years, yeah. But it's been a good career. I coached for 41 years, and a lot of different people in and out of my life, players, and I think that's what I'll remember.
When you were announced to the grade, when you found out that you were being elected into the Hall of Fame, can you just describe what you were doing when you got that call, or how it all unfolded and the emotions that you might have felt?
Yeah, it was just I can't remember where I was at. I think it was down in Florida, but I do remember just sort of being stunned. It doesn't happen every day, and again, I look back and I just point to it and look at it as a program award, and a lot of people involved in this. And, my name might go up there, but I hope everybody feels a piece of that.
If I decided you could do over again as a coach, would you learn to enjoy the victories more than the losses tear you up?
Probably. Use a couple more wins over Michigan, I guess. But yeah, the losses, especially the ones that are close, you always look at those things and say, we would have done this, done that. We would have come out as a winner. So, those you're going to look at that. Always going to look at that. But I think that probably need to enjoy the wins a little bit more. You're probably right.
Are the storms near where you're in Florida? Are they away from your place, or?
Well, they're on the west coast there, but they're farther. They're farther down.
What does it mean for the 100 former players showing up for this? To see these guys, you said it's a program award.
Yeah. And I got a lot of calls, for people that couldn't make it and stuff like that, which I totally understand. But I think it points to one of the first things that we tried to do as a program was build relationships with people. And I think you have to do that because when you have a shared sense of commitment, a shared sense of communication, and then when you trust each other as people, those relationships are going to stand for a lifetime. And we try to develop those and we build into those things. And in the early years, in 07, 08, 09, we had tremendous buy-in by our players. And then you went through the 10, 11, 12 years, and I looked at those years, and that's when we started competing for championships. And then, 13, 14, 15, we that's when you probably sort of hit our stride, and then, finishing out, we won 114 and finished out and, lost some close games, but won a lot of them too.
Last year you got through tough times. What did you get from that? And I guess, what do you see the direction right now with Jonathan? I know you're in Maryland for that game.
Well, when you start talking about tough times and you're still going to bowl games, they're not that tough. So again, I built into the relationships, and it was always about what we do for people and with people. But where I see the direction going with Coach Smith is very, very positive. I watched all the games. They're very resilient as a football team. I think that comes from the head coach. They can play through the smoke, as I used to say. When things bad happen, they can get up and they can go the next play and be successful. So you see that, and this is year one. Game number 5 coming. And there's a lot of positives to point to, and I think the future is very, very bright.
Your name is already engraved up there, but they'll cover it up tomorrow. Will they unveil that? Can you explain what kind of emotions will go through you?
Who'd have thought? who'd have thought that, you know? But no, that'll be something that I experienced, I guess, at that point in time. But again, when I put it in perspective, that you know, so many people helped make this happen. You know, their name's up there as well as mine, and I can relate to that.
You've coached so many. When were you informed your name was going up there? Who told you?
Alan Haller told me, and he told me, I think it was this summer. Unbelievable. My name to be up there among, you know, the greatest Spartans in history. You know, again, it speaks to a lot of different people working, but you know, to share that, it's a monumental thing.
Who was the first person you told or phoned?
Oh, my wife. Yes.
What was her reaction?
Same as mine. Wow. You know, can you believe that?
Who'd have
You know,
thought?
very appreciated. Who'd have thought?
One of your
Yeah, that could be your headline. Who'd have thought?
one of your residences is here in Michigan. How gratifying is it to stay in the state and not get too far away from the legacy of the builder? Is that something that
Well, I love Michigan. I love being over on the West Coast there and being near the lake and just, you know, live my life with my wife and seeing our kids, seeing my grandchildren, and being a part of their lives. And so, you miss coaching, though. You know, I can't say that you don't miss it. You miss the relationships and the things that, you know, the X's and O's and things like that. And that game's going in a little bit different direction these days. But speed it up a little bit.
You all set the standard.
and obviously you've slanted within driving distance for basketball
Yeah.
games. Is that
Yeah, I've been back. You know, been around Coach Izzo a lot, and it's always good to take a trip on a basketball trip, and I'll take a football trip every now and then, that type of thing. So I went to the Maryland game. So it's been good.
You helped set a standard of excellence here, being during your time that now Jonathan Smith is trying to chase or bring the program back to. Just what does it mean for you to have set that kind of bar of success and show what it can look like here?
Well, you know, I think that, you know, when I first came here as the head coach, you know, I pointed to the past as the opportunity and to be able to be successful here. If there was that opportunity, and I can say the same probably now. You know, you've been successful in the past, and once you've done something once, there's always a better percentage that you can do it again. So when you look at those type of things, hopefully it serves as something they can chase a little bit. That's what we did.
You've coached a lot of places, Mark. I'm wondering, you're going to be in that stadium forever now. What became special about coaching in that stadium specifically for you?
Oh, you know, everything about it. You know, Spartan fans. You know, tradition of Michigan State, being there with my players. You know, being in the hunt with our players. You know, for whatever, being successful, winning a lot of big games, winning championships, those type of things. So there's a lot of things when you walk back in there, you feel that you still have a sense of it.
Is this like closure to 41 years of coaching when you think about it? I mean, there's really, I don't know what else you can do when you get into the Hall of Fame and you get, you know, does this feel like you always talk about completing your circles, but does this feel like the end of 41
Well,
years?
I hope it's not the end, but
Well, not, you know,
but yeah, I know what you mean. Sort of end of my coaching career and those type of things. Yeah, it's sort of like, you know, the things that you wanted to do when I came in here. Things I wanted to do when I came in here was, you know, measure up in state. I think we did that. Graduate our players, send players to the NFL. I think we've done those things. You know, win Big Ten championships. We did that, and then the last thing I wanted to do was leave a legacy, leave something behind that people could say, hey, they did it right. They were successful at what they did, and I think we've done that.
Is everybody good? We got to wrap up.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Where's your place to score? Which town?
Benita Springs.
Oh, nice.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I heard you get the kids every couple of days. Good. They need take care. Enjoy it tonight.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Dantonio being honored like this? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you know, for me, just like many in the Spartan community, the wins were awesome, but what he did for our community, lifetime memories for families. And my kids grew up, you know, with the teams and with the success of this program, and we're still talking about those memories right now. And that's what tonight is about. It's not about the winningest coach in Spartan history. It's about what he did for this community for over a decade.
You were involved when he was interviewed. You went down there on that flight with Izzo and Hollis, right?
Yeah.
What do you remember about that day?
You know, I remember it was at the end of our search and that we had already interviewed quite a few people. And I remember he walked into the room, sat down, and basically made us feel like this was the guy. He didn't have a presentation. He didn't have materials. He had a notepad. And we were in there for 3 hours with him. And I said, that's our guy.
Can you imagine that was a crossroads in history at that moment?
I didn't know it. Because I was a police officer at the time, so I didn't know the state of the program and where we were. But I couldn't have predicted Jim that day and then everything that happened 14 years later. But what I felt from him that night, I'm getting goosebumps right now. Like, I got back on that plane and I told Mark Hollis, like, I want to play for him. And he was able to motivate people in a way that just made you could do the impossible. And so it went by fast. I think that we didn't totally appreciate it when it was happening. You know, my son literally thought that's what Michigan State football does. We're in the top 10 every year. That's what we do. Like, what are you talking about? And so for him to then go through some of the challenges we've had, it's been interesting, but just so thankful to be part of that.
And when you decided, or when it was decided for his name to go in the Ring of Honor, you called him, and he said that it was a great moment for him. He was kind of surprised. What went into that decision, and how fun was it to give him the news on that?
You know, it was one of the few times I get as an athletic director to kind of skip processes and say, this is what we need to do. Because to be honest, Jim and Chris, I wanted to do it even before he got into College Football Hall of Fame. But everybody told me, you gotta wait. I was like, no, I want to do it now. So for me, it was a couple of years too late. I mean, this guy deserves it. I know we're not in the statues around here, but I think he's meant that much to our community, or we should consider it.